Hi, my name is Phil Borders. I'm a psychiatrist here at Hendricks Therapy here in central Indiana, and I am wearing a cardigan sweater because my wife is making me wear it. Today we are going to talk about ketamine, and we're also going to talk about ways of gathering information on medical treatments and medicine. Because unfortunately nowadays we have so much information, we don't know what's real, what's not real. And like I tell my patients when I first meet them, it's like, you don't know me. There's no reason for you to trust me. I could be a raging sociopath, but my goal is to earn your trust. So part of what we're going to learn today and talk about today is just trying to figure out how to disseminate all this information that we receive about medications and about medical treatments. So first we're going to talk about ketamine. So ketamine was, a little bit of history, ketamine was created in 1962. Now ketamine is a psychedelic, and psychedelic compounds are compounds that can alter the way we perceive our surroundings, and also can alter the way we think and perceive the world and in our life, and it can provide insights into life in our lives that we didn't have before. And it's a temporary effect. It only happens, while you're getting treatment. It's not going to last all day or anything like that. So ketamine is a psychedelic compound, again, that was created in 1962, and then in 1972, it received FDA approval as an anesthetic and an analgesic. So basically helping people, with pain and, if they need, certain procedures done where they didn't remember it or feel it. What happened during the Vietnam War is they first noted that it had some mental health benefits. So the soldiers who were injured, they'd receive ketamine, for their wounds, for their injuries. And these soldiers noticed that, hey, I'm not depressed anymore. I'm not suicidal anymore. And this prompted some researchers, some smart researchers from Yale, and we know they're smart because, they're from Yale, in the year 2000 to do the first trial of ketamine in depression, and the trial proved to be very, very successful. So since the year 2000, they've had numerous studies about ketamine with depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, suicidality, and they've shown some very, very favorable results. And that's kind of why we're talking about ketamine today, is because it's a game changer. It is a game changer for mental health. So that's my opinion, and we're going to get to why and how we figure out, what do we believe, as far as, is a medication going to work? Is medical treatment going to work? One way is just to go online. Online's got a lot of benefits. You can get a lot of reviews, listen to a lot of people's opinions. That's the way I buy toasters. I will go to Amazon. I will look at reviews. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time researching toasters. I'm just going to buy the toaster with the best reviews and with a decent price. Another way of understanding medical information is just to ask people who've received it. If you've known somebody who has received ketamine, they can give you their opinion. Now, the downside to this is if your Uncle Joe's received ketamine, that's just one person's opinion, and Uncle Joe might be totally different than you. The third way is to look at scientific articles, and that takes a lot of time. It's a little bit of a pain in the neck, but these are scientific articles. Now, the upside to scientific articles, they're usually done by pretty smart people. The downside is not all of them are good. Some of them are misleading, but some of them are good. So one way of looking at scientific articles is looking at articles that examine scientific articles. And they did that here recently, the summer of 2023, in the Journal of Hematology and Oncology. So what this article looked at, it looked at meta-analysis. So it looked at 93 meta-analysis. Now, meta-analysis is a study of studies. So it's basically a group of articles, a group of studies that they combine to give more power, more data, more legitimacy. So they looked at 93 of these meta-analysis, which are kind of the gold standard of articles, of scientific studies. And they looked at those that had ties to the pharmaceutical industry and those that didn't have ties to the pharmaceutical industry. And they found that if an article had a tie to the pharmaceutical industry, it was 68% more likely to show positive results. And that was kind of a punch in the gut when I read that. So even though something is in a scientific journal, you still have to take it with a grain of salt as to whether or not it's a good article. Which is kind of sad, but it is what it is. Now, one nice thing about ketamine is that ketamine's generic, and there's no money to be made in ketamine. So the people who are doing studies of ketamine, they're not going to be money driven. Now, they could still have some bias, because if you're a scientist and you're doing a study, you're going to want a favorable outcome. But because there's no money driving it, I think, intuitively, you'd expect that these studies would be more likely to be legit. So in our next discussion, we're going to look at 6 different articles. And these are articles that I thought were interesting. They're recent. They seem pertinent, from reputable resources. And as a spoiler alert, not all of them were positive, and I think that actually gives more legitimacy to these studies. So again, my name's Phil Borders. I'm a psychiatrist here at Hendricks Therapy, and our next video, we're going to talk about studies about ketamine. Thank you for your time.